So the change of clothes might throw y'all off a little bit. I actually had to, do something. Some things came up, and so I had to finish this video another day. So before I get back into the story, just so y'all know, we got the Genuine Intentions hoodie from KGY, one of my brands. We also got the LSB wristbands, LSB Athletics, and KGY wristbands. Code Justin E to get money off all those products. All that information, all my partnerships will be in the link in the description, in the link in my bio, in the link in my bio on my Instagram and all my social media sites. So anyways, I was at the part where I got back right before fall camp, right? And so, like I said, I was training all summer, had to grind it out, stay in shape, but I finally got back during fall camp. And when I got back right before fall camp, I was so excited because I finally had my own locker. I had my first official photo shoot, and here's my picture from my photo shoot. You could tell a lot has changed since then. My hair was not nearly as long, and they gave me number 46. I'm really upset about that to this day, because I know I was a walk-on, but I'm a DB. You could have given me something at least in the 30s. You feel me? So I come back that year, fall 2020, and I'm right there before fall camp. So that's my freshman year, and I go through that year. I don't play, as expected, right? And then I keep training, go through the off season. I go through my second year. We get a new defensive coordinator. I don't really play that spring, So at this point, I've gone through 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year, and basically haven't played a snap, which is it's okay, but I'm definitely feeling like I should be getting some type of playing time at this point, especially on special teams, because I really feel I was committing myself to the training, to the workout, to the practice, to everything that the coaches in the program wanted me to do, and I felt like I had the ability, to be on the field. But everybody feels like that, and not everybody gets to play. So, it is what it is. I just kept working. That spring, this is spring 2022, we get a new defensive coordinator. This is now my third defensive coordinator in 3 years. And that spring, we didn't have a lot of safeties, but I was definitely higher in the depth chart than I ever had been before. That spring, I played the most I ever played, and I did really good. In my opinion, I did really good. Made a lot of plays in practice. I played and started the whole spring game and felt like I had a really good spring overall. So after that spring and that spring game, I really felt like I was in a prime position to finally get PT during the season, during the fall. And so, I'm excited, I'm ready. I'm all this hard work is gonna pay off. But it never really changes. Life as a walk-on, it kind of has the same pattern. So basically that summer, we had one safety come back from injury. So that brought me down a spot. And then they put 2 freshman safeties in front of me, two true freshman guys. Now, I'm not hating on nobody. I'm really not. But for those who want to walk on, and this is another point I want to bring up. For those who want to walk on, the favor is always going to be for those who are on scholarship or they want to play. You get what I'm saying? So if they have money invested in players that are coming in or are on scholarship, they're going to get those opportunities before you do, even if you feel like you deserve it. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I felt like I had worked so hard. I felt like I had done everything right. I felt like this was my time, right? And basically, I'd already got knocked down because one guy came back from injury, and then they had two safeties come in who were true freshmen who started over me now. So now I'm basically third, fourth team with no chance of playing. I'm just buried in the depth chart. So now this is going into this past season, 2022-2023 season, right? So I go through fall camp. I have a good fall camp, but I didn't get that many reps, right? We go through that season. I don't, get to play. I almost got in one time, but I didn't get any snaps, right? And it was kind of the same thing as it had always been, right? So this is now my junior year, my redshirt junior year, my third year, and it's kind of dang, I might not ever get to play. And that's basically just the reality for a lot of people. You could do everything right, work really hard, but like I said, you're always gonna be at a disadvantage as a walk-on when you're not on scholarship, when there's no money invested in you. And that doesn't mean that walk-ons can't do it. There are definitely walk-ons who were able to get playing time at different spots. That just wasn't my story. So after that season, I basically knew after the spring that I was probably going to transfer and leave, because I knew I was going to graduate that spring. So, you know, once I got my degree, I was able to leave and be a grad transfer, and I would have 2 years left. You know, and it was very important to me. I came to Mizzou for academic reasons. So it didn't make sense to me, and I was never gonna leave before getting my degree. But it just so worked out that, you know, after that third season, after that spring, after I went through all the spring ball this past spring, got my degree, I was able to leave and still have 2 years left. So I feel like it's worked out for me so far. So that brings me to where I am now. A lot of you guys have been asking about like my whole recruitment journey, how the transfer portal has been treating me. How would it be for someone like me who was a walk-on at a big Division I SEC program but really didn't get any playing time? You know, I have good practice film, I have good spring game film, but what is it like for somebody who hasn't really had real game time, and what does the market look like? What does the recruiting process look like? And for me, I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of schools reaching out, guys. Like, if you come from a big school, if you transfer from a big major school, you're gonna have a lot of schools that have interest. But the whole thing with the transfer portal is coaches, they always hit you up, they always show love, but you really find out real quick who's gonna stick with you throughout the whole process. And that's not to talk bad on coaches. Like I said, coaches got a job to do, and they're always just trying to see who's available, who's interested, and who's the best player they can get. But for me, it was definitely a frustrating, it was definitely a stressful process, just trying to find the best school for me, trying to like at first stay D1, trying to find that program that was best for me academically, but was also going to give me a chance to play football for real, because I knew I had the ability to do so. As of now, if you guys have been following my socials, you've been following on my social media, you've seen that I actually committed to a new school. The school is called Mississippi College. Now, the school is a Division II school down in Mississippi, but I definitely feel good about it because, you know, it's a good school academically, and they play in a really competitive conference in D2. So a lot of the talent and a lot of the competition is really D1 competition. And at first, like, yes, it could be very upsetting, you know, or very discouraging not to be able to stay Division I, you know, as me being in Division I for so long. But I also have to realize for my story and why I'm trying to be an inspiration to others is that I played high school football for 1 year. I played football for 1 year, right? And I went through all of school, all of undergrad, and graduated. And now I'm gonna get grad school totally paid for because of football, because I stuck with the process, because I was persistent. And even though I didn't get what I wanted, you know, initially, right, I was able to stick with the process, stick with it, stay consistent, stay working, you know, stay hungry, and eventually I got what I wanted for. So now I'm gonna be going to grad school on a full scholarship, not having to pay anything, and I'm gonna be leaving debt free, right? So at the end of the day, that's definitely a blessing and definitely something I'm grateful for. And I think I'm really doing it at a good place as well. And so I wanted to kind of like explain that to a lot of you guys who have been following me and following my journey, and kind of just to get my perspective on things, is that it's never gonna go how you want it to. You're never gonna get the results you want at times when you want them. But, you know, as long as you stick with the process, as long as you keep grinding and keep working, that eventually you're gonna get what you want. You're gonna get some type of reward. You're gonna get some type of prize for what you've gone through, you know. And I think definitely for me, it wasn't what I thought it was. Never in a million years did I think I was gonna be in Mississippi or any place, you know, like that. But I definitely, you know, life takes you on crazy journeys. And I definitely think that this is the journey that God wants me to take, and the journey that he's led me on. And so, you know, I skipped over a few things in terms of like my whole years, like, you know, playing ball at Mizzou and, you know, and doing that. But that's basically my main story. Like I said before, if you guys been following me on TikTok, you probably already heard it, like I explained it on TikTok. But this is basically an extended version of that, and kind of, you know, everything, you know, throughout my time playing football so far, I've definitely been through a lot in terms of just like being able to stay, you know, mentally fresh, you know, because football can definitely take a big toll on, like, you know, a lot of the players and athletes, you know, because we put so much on ourselves to like be the best players we can be. We train hard, we practice hard, we lift hard, we do everything. Our whole lives revolve around football, around the sport, and this goes for any athlete. So it's definitely hard on you when it doesn't go how you want it to go, when you don't get the playing time or the recognition that you want or you believe you should get. And so it's been definitely an up and down roller coaster, but I think it's definitely all for the better. And for anybody that's considering walking on, or maybe in the portal, or maybe going through anything similar to that, there's definitely benefits to just staying down and continuing to trust the process, continue to keep working, because at some point or at some time, this hard work will pay off. You will get what you want, or you will get some type of prize that's even better than what you even imagined it could be. So I wanted to make sure I answered some of y'all questions too. I put out a few polls on my Instagram story and my other socials, and you guys asked me a few questions, so I'm gonna make this kind of like a Q&A video too, and kind of just answer any questions you have. Feel free to also ask more questions in the comments below. Feel free to ask me anything. If I get enough questions, I'll make another video, kind of just making it a whole Q&A video. But one of the questions you guys asked me was, what got you into football? And I feel like I kind of explained it already, but before even deciding that I wanted to play football, my senior year of high school, I definitely just always had been into football, was a big football fan, watching football on TV. You know, it's just something that I felt like I always wanted to do. And it wasn't until real late to where I actually believed that, you know, I could do it for myself. So I was just always a fan, like, you know, like many people, always watching it, always, you know, felt like I wanted to be on that stage, you know, with people watching me. Someone asked me, describe your high school career and your recruiting process. I basically explained that in this video, but like I said before, played 1 year of high school ball, really wasn't recruited. Some smaller schools had interest, but basically ended up walking on to Mizzou. Basically explained that already. This is a good question right here. Someone asked me, how do you balance being a student athlete? That's a really good question. One thing that definitely is essential for being a student athlete is just time management. You have to know how to manage your time, because being an athlete in general, you already put so much time, energy, and effort towards your sport. So keep in mind, you're also, you know, in school, having to do schoolwork, assignments, essays, whatever it may be. So you definitely just have to create a schedule, routine, and it takes discipline to stick to that routine and schedule, because it is hard. Because, you know, for us, we don't have as much free time as a regular student would. And definitely, I would also say, make sure you do assignments and do your schoolwork early. Don't wait till the last minute, because you're never gonna have as much time as you think you will when you wait till the last minute, because things will always come up. You know, the coaches will bring up some surprise meeting and be like, everybody has to meet here at this time, and then that takes up the time that you thought you had free, and then all of a sudden you're late on your assignment. So make sure you do things early and have good time management, and also take time for yourself. Another question you guys asked me was, how do you find the motivation or discipline to start new habits / stay consistent? That's a really good question. I would say, to be able to have the motivation to like start a new habit or stay consistent, I just think that if I'm convinced that that thing is gonna make me a better person, a better football player, a better man, you know, or just better in all facets, that I definitely just want to commit to being a better person in general. So I'm definitely gonna, you know, try and do that. And so I think, you know, you have to just have the mindset that you want to be better every day. And it's definitely hard to try and improve every day, and trying to put forth the effort to try and improve or be better at something every day. It's something that's not easy to do, because we all have off days. We all have days where we don't feel like doing anything, or we don't feel good, or we're tired. And so in some way, you just have to find a way, or have that motivation, that drive within yourself to be able to like just be better. You know, it could be something as little as, you know, one of my coaches had told me that in order to be better, you want to do one thing that you don't like doing every day. So try doing one thing that you don't like doing every day. And they also asked, how do I have the motivation or discipline to stay consistent? And it's basically the same answer. You know, in order to be successful in anything, not only does it take, you know, energy, effort, but it takes consistency. That's probably the most important thing, because anybody can do it one day, but it takes, you know, something special to be able to wake up and do it each and every day and give your all each and every day. And if you want it bad enough, you'll do pretty much anything to get it. I also got another question. Says, talk to the young players about making the most of offers regardless of the level. So this is definitely a coach that was in my DMs talking about talk to the young players about making the most of offers regardless of the level. But that is definitely something important, something that is worth mentioning. We have this perception, you know, as players that everybody wants to go D1, right? And, you know, that's great. You know, if you have the opportunity, I definitely would take it. But I would also say that, you know, just cause you don't go D1 doesn't mean it's the end of the world or that you still can't accomplish your goals as a football player. There's so many football players nowadays that, you know, at this point, there's not going to be enough spots for everybody that wants to go D1. And so I think, you know, one thing that I realized in my process is that as much as I wanted to stay D1 while I was in the transfer portal, once I realized that that wasn't really going to be possible in my situation, I really started looking at, you know, what were the best schools for me, you know, academically, what were the best schools for me, what opportunities would they provide for me outside of football and within football as well. And you realize that for a lot of schools and a lot of places, the talent gap, especially in the skill positions, is not a big of a difference. And a lot of y'all probably already know this, but the talent gap with skill positions between like Division 2 and Division 1, there's not really much of a skill or talent gap at all. It's more so the training and the nutrition and the development that makes it different. So definitely D1 guys might be bigger because of that training and development and the nutrition that comes with that. And usually the D1 schools have more money for more of those resources. But honestly, it all just comes down to believing in yourself, you know, believing that, you know, you will do whatever it takes and you have what it takes to be successful. You know, you've probably heard this a lot before, but everybody's journey is different. And my journey is certainly unique, as you guys have heard, but everybody's journey is different and not everybody's, you know, path is going to be the same. So it doesn't do you any good to try and compare yourself to, you know, the Division 1 players with a lot of followers that you see that are verified on Instagram. You know, it doesn't do you good to compare yourself to that. You just have to run your own race and, you know, create your own path. So wherever you go, you just have to commit to yourself that you're going to do everything you can to be the best football player you can be. You know, and if you're really like that, if you really have that talent, if you really have that skill, that ability, and you put in the work, you'll be all right. You'll be successful. And, you know, if you want to go to the league, they'll find you. I know I sound like a coach talking saying that, but it's really true, man. Like you know, I've been through a lot in terms of like my journey, and I still feel as if I can still accomplish anything I can, you know, football wise, where I'm about to be head at right now. You know, like the question kind of asked, it's all about what you make it. I've seen top recruits, 4-star recruits, not do anything because they weren't committed, they didn't put in the work, you know, and I've seen that with, you know, a lot of people too. And I've seen guys that weren't recruited or didn't have that many stars and they've, you know, made it to the top because they put in the work and had that chip on their shoulder. So, you know, wherever school you go to, whatever level you go to, it's all about what you make it, you know. Yes, it's true that more schools have like more resources, whether it be training, nutrition, you know, and other things, you know, to help you be a better player and a better athlete. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to, you know, use them. And if you're at a school that you don't have as many of those resources, well, it's up to you to find other ways to compensate and still try and be the best you can be with what you got. So it's all about what you make it. It's all about what you put in, you know, and don't be discouraged about, you know, D1, D2, NAIA, D3, whatever level it is. Just make the most of wherever you at and just make the most of whatever opportunity or the best opportunity you get. Another question is, where did you get the inspiration to start your content while playing football? That's a good question too. So I would say I started making content, I'd say my sophomore year. So that was like 2021. Yeah, basically I just, you know, we were doing as an athlete, you know, we do so much. And so, you know, from waking up early for workouts to staying late for extra work after practice and things like that, I just felt like what I was doing was like really interesting and something that a lot of people wanted to know about. You know, being at a, you know, big Division 1 SEC program, that's something that a lot of people are interested in as to what kind of the day-to-day life is. So I kind of just created a TikTok page. Before that, I didn't really want to have too much social media. I only had an Instagram. I barely used my Snap, and that was basically all the social media I had. And so, I created a TikTok. You know, I didn't want to at first, but I finally did. And I just posted my first video. I remember my first TikTok video I remember was like a tour of like the facility, the Mizzou facility, because it's a really nice facility. And I kind of just started making more videos, and you know, I wasn't really consistent with it at first. Like I wasn't like doing them every day, maybe like every week, maybe once every 2 weeks I'd post a video or something. But you know, I remember one of my earlier videos, they just started kind of popping off. Once I started to do like little day in the life videos and kind of just explaining what was going on, they just started kind of gaining steam, gaining views, gaining comments. And so that's when I really started to think, oh, maybe I can actually do this and like, you know, create a platform for myself. So TikTok eventually turned into Instagram Reels. I started posting more of my videos on Instagram Reels. That eventually turned into the idea of me making a YouTube page, a YouTube channel, which I started in November or December last year, you know. So I just felt like having the platform that I had and being where I was at, being the position that I was in, that in order to maximize it, you know, it was really smart of me, or it would be good for me to kind of create that platform, create social media content so that people could also understand what was going on behind the scenes, you know, and I could be able to inspire, help, answer questions, educate people while also doing something that I enjoy to do, which was creating content, being in front of the camera, and, you know, making videos like this. Someone asked me, what has been your favorite and then your most difficult moment while playing football? I would say my favorite moment was, honestly, I'd probably just say the day-to-day, like being with the guys, you know, kind of like the locker room antics and all that. Like if you played, you know what I'm talking about. Just kind of like the day-to-day grind, but like also being with your teammates and the guys in the locker room and kind of just having fun that way. Like that was just really fun, and like that's something that, you know, I'll definitely miss when I'm done with football. I would say like a specific moment or a specific game, it would probably be like the Florida game. I think it was my sophomore year, basically. That game was basically on our senior day, and I remember we were like 5-5 or 5-6, so we had to win that game to be bowl eligible, and we beat them like off a 2-point conversion in double overtime. And basically, yeah, won the game, was able to go to a bowl game, and we won on senior day or senior night. So that was basically pretty cool. There was also a game my freshman year against Arkansas where we beat them by like a field goal, but it was like a real high scoring game. There was a game that same year against LSU after they won the national championship. We beat them on a goal line stand. So there was many moments like that. I would say my most difficult moment, wow, I would say definitely just like kind of like the doubt that I kind of like, you know, got from football. And I'm not like blaming it on football, but there were times where I didn't perform or didn't, you know, get what I wanted, didn't get the playing time, didn't get the recognition, or didn't like perform how I wanted. And so I definitely think there were times where I was really down on myself, really hard on myself, really felt like I really let football dictate how I felt about the rest of life. Especially like when I felt like I'd done everything I could, and then you would have like other people come in, you know, like I mentioned before, and kind of just be put above me in the depth chart. And so that definitely took a little bit of a toll on me for sure. You know, like, and I feel like that's natural. Like I think that would do the same thing to anybody in my position. But I definitely think like just the doubt, the uncertainty, the confusion, the anger sometimes that comes with like football, and all the stress that comes from it, definitely was like, you know, a hard at times for me to like manage and to deal with. But yeah, that definitely be like, you know, a hard point. I think a lot of players, a lot of athletes can relate to that as well. Someone asked, why did you leave Mizzou? Like I said, wasn't getting the playing time that I felt like I wanted or, you know, needed, you know, wanted to actually play football and not just practice. And I was graduating, you know, like I said, it was important for me to get my degree first, and then, you know, I could do what I wanted. So the timing just worked out. So, you know, those kind of were the two main reasons. So someone asked me, do you play zombies on Call of Duty? And what's your opinion on the Mizzou program right now? First question, no, I don't play zombies. I don't play video games really at all in general. Kind of stopped playing video games like my junior, senior year of high school. Just kind of felt like it was, you know, useless, you know, didn't serve me any good, you know, just kind of a waste of time. Not like a waste of time, but just like, you know, people got too good at video games. That's what it was. Like Madden and 2K were the main games I played. I played a little bit of Fortnite too, and like people just got too good, and I was like, I don't care a lot. I don't care enough about this, so just stop playing. You know what I'm saying? It's just a video game. Then the other question, what's your opinion on the Mizzou program right now? I'm not going to speak too much on that because I'm not on the team no more, and like, you know, plus like it's really none of my business, or it doesn't really concern me no more. But I will say, like, when I was there, one thing I will say is that we got plenty of talent. Mizzou has plenty of talent to do, you know, what they want and to, you know, win as many games as they want. There's a lot of good players on that team, a lot of talent, and yeah, that's about all I'll say on that. But definitely a lot of talent. There are a lot of talent everywhere. But yeah, but that's basically it for the questions I will answer. And that's basically it for this video, guys. You know, that's just basically my story. That's basically like kind of how I got to where I am, and where I am now. Like I said, I probably skipped over a few details, but feel free to continue to hit me up, DM on Instagram, TikTok, in the comments down below. Make sure that y'all, you know, hit me up with any questions you guys have. You know, I've getting a lot of DMs about people wanting to, you know, get advice about how to walk on or how to do this, you know, and like I said, I'm always free to help. I always want to make sure that I'm, you know, passing down some game, inspiring somebody else, making sure that, you know, that I can be able to help somebody else who may be in my situation or may have been in my situation. That's gonna be it for this video. As always, rock with the brands. Like I said, the KGY brand with the hoodie and the wristbands, the LSB bands with the wristbands and all the apparel that they have, the Johnson & Scott brand with the Love Yourself tees and all the apparel that they have, and also the Mixed Emotions brand. I did not feature them in this video, but basically they got some really dope apparel, really dope stuff there too. All these partnerships, you use my code JustinE will get you a discount on all purchases. So go ahead and support me, go ahead and support the brand, and go ahead and get you something nice, or somebody, you know, somebody that you know is important to you. Go get them something nice, you know, and use my code JustinE to get you that. But basically, don't neglect that. As always, any question, comments, concerns, anything, make sure you put it in the comments or reach out to me. As always, I appreciate y'all watching the video. For this video, comment in the comment, put in the comments, trust the process or trust the journey, one of those two. Because, you know, it's all a process, it's all a journey, and the prize, you know, the value comes within the process and the journey, not the destination or you reaching your goals. And that's facts. So comment, you know, if you're here at this point and you a real one, like I always say, comment down, trust the process, trust the journey. I'm definitely trying to continue to do that and implement that in my life as I continue on my journey. And hopefully you are doing that as well. And hopefully I have, you know, helped you or inspired you to help implement that and do that as well in your life, whatever journey or process you are on. But comment one of those things down in the comments. As always, I appreciate y'all watching the video. More content, more videos is on the way, and I got a big announcement coming soon, actually a new partnership coming. But as always, more content, more videos coming on the way. I appreciate y'all watching. I'll see y'all in the next video.